Thank you, Raquel. I will now introduce this year's commencement speaker, Dr. Kenny Nugent, who is a proud alumni of Pocomoke High School's graduating class of 2006. Dr. Kenneth Nugent was born in New York, but has considered the Eastern Shore his home since he moved to Pocomoke at 10 years of age. After graduating Pocomoke High in 2006, Kenny went on to St. Mary's College of Maryland, where he received a Bachelor's of Arts degree in biology in 2010. Kenny was then accepted into the University of Maryland School of Medicine and graduated in 2015. He completed his emergency medicine residency at Christiana Care in Delaware in 2018. There, he assisted with the admission of future residency classes and received an award for his contributions to emergency medical services. In 2018, Kenny moved to San Antonio, Texas, to join Greater San Antonio Emergency Physicians. He is now a partner in the group and sits on the board of directors. He was elected as an at-large director for the Texas Chapter Division of the American Academy of Emergency Medicine. He is currently serving as the medical director for Methodist Hospital Emergency Department, one of the largest hospitals in the United States. Kenny enjoys spending time at home with his wife and 4-month-old daughter, and is also the proud father of a dog, cat, and turtle. Some of his interests include traveling, spending time at the beach, pizza, and working on his Jeep. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Nugent to the stage.
Thank you, Principal Rain, for that very kind introduction and very accurate introduction. And thank you to the educational administration, the leadership, family, and friends for allowing and inviting me to be here. It's been far too long since I visited town, and today was the first time actually seeing the completed school renovation, which turned out beautifully. But most importantly, thank you to the 2022 Pocomoke High School class for giving me the honor of speaking here at your graduation. I stand before you today full of warrior pride as I look out at this group of successful young men and women. Mr. Carlton Cartwright was the one that asked me to give this speech several months ago now. Mr. Cartwright and I have known each other now for well over 20 years. We first met as he taught me literature in 6th grade. I will admit that I may not have always been the best student and probably could have been a bit hard-headed at times. Mr. Cartwright must not have had enough of a challenge teaching me as he began to follow me, going up in the grades he taught, ultimately landing him in his current, well-deserved counselor position. Through the years, we have kept in regular touch, though usually via text message or email. So when he asked me to give him a call one night, my attention was piqued. My first thought was that he had nothing better to do, so I was going through and regrading my assignments, somehow dug up some obscure grammatical error or misuse of a semicolon, as to this day, I do not fully understand the point of that punctuation mark. I was therefore at a loss for words when this mentor of mine, a former teacher turned close friend, instead asked me if I'd be willing to prepare a speech for your graduation. As soon as I realized it was not a joke, I graciously accepted. To this day, I vividly remember my own high school graduation, and again, am honored now to be a part of yours. While to me it doesn't feel that long ago, quite a bit has changed in the 16 years since I was in your position, graduating on 6/6/06. I am amazed to see the transformation of our high school from the small, humble brick building I was used to attending, and this beautiful sports complex, so aptly named after the Bird family and the legendary Miss Susan Pusey who touched so many lives. The people have also changed, as I look around and now see my own friends and classmates serving as your teachers and administration. Not to mention some of us probably having more and more gray hairs each year. One thing, though, that I'm certain has not changed is the quality of graduate that Pocomoke High School produces. The dedicated, tenacious, hard-working warriors that now sit before me. Students from a somewhat obscure town on the Eastern Shore that ultimately come to have an impact on all those they encounter. I've seen firsthand the quality of graduates of Pocomoke from my own experience. I clearly recall my teachers challenging us to succeed on assignments, to score higher than what was expected of us on those dreaded standardized tests. I remember Mr. Burton drilling the marching band routines over and over until we were flawless in every parade we participated. Mr. Springle encouraging our tennis team to be competitive with the perpetually stronger teams north on the peninsula. And I could never forget soccer practices, when Coach Bird would push us further than we knew we were capable. Our team would travel across the bay to cities that were so much bigger than us, with so many more resources, and we would absolutely embarrass them. But that wasn't enough as a warrior. After winning, we would then run laps in front of the team we just defeated, because that is the Pocomoke way. This point of what it means to be from Pocomoke was cemented for me as I entered medical school at the University of Maryland. I would never tell my parents this, but I probably skipped a few more classes than I should have as an undergraduate at St. Mary's College. The beaches and sailboats would call my name so much more eloquently than the classrooms and labs. This may have left my grades and academic performance a bit under what they could have been. However, I was able to secure an interview for med school at Maryland, where I met Dr. Mickey Foxwell, the Dean of Admissions at the time. He grew up in Cambridge and was quite familiar with other members of the shore. Though on paper, I may not have been the strongest candidate, he saw that I was from Pocomoke, and that was more than enough for him to give me a chance. He knew what this instilled in me, that I would work harder than anyone in the room, that I would not accept no for an answer, and that I would succeed no matter what. Coming through this school before you, I know for a fact you all have this drive, this determination in you as well. You all have demonstrated the perseverance to survive a global pandemic together. During some of the most challenging, most formative years of your lives, you didn't know when or if you would see your family, your teachers, and your classmates again. Some of you may have missed classes, dances, games, or performances. Some of you may have lost friends and family. Yet here you are, graduating and celebrating your dedication, strength, intelligence, and resolve, proudly showing how steadfast you remain. This is the Pocomoke way, running victory laps in front of your defeated opponent. While I firmly believe that this foundation you have built, this background you now have, will support you through any endeavor you choose to pursue, I would be remiss to not mention that there will be challenges. From now on, you will have to work harder than you ever have before. These challenges, the battles that you face, will not always be fair. Look around at your classmates and friends now. Your peers, your friends, will all face their own difficulties. You will unfortunately be treated differently based on who you are, how you look, who your family is, where you are from, and so many other ridiculous preconceptions. As the future leaders of our world, I challenge you to change this. Growing up in Pocomoke, we have a unique perspective knowing literally everyone in town. We know our neighbors, their parents, their children, their cousins, and the list goes on. We can see in this diverse town that despite our differences, we are in fact all the same people. People that deserve to be treated fairly, with respect and dignity, given equality the opportunities that are ahead of us. In this divisive world we live in, that you are walking out into, sadly, not everyone is treated equally as they should be. But this is not how it should be or has to be. Take what you have learned here, the respect you have for your classmates, your families, your neighbors, and teach it to the world. Despite the challenges that lie ahead of you, you have so many opportunities, so many options to live an amazing life. As you continue to transition into adulthood, I hope you never lose your excitement and wonder for what is to come. Some of you may travel the world, others may have already planted roots here in town. You may have plans to protect our nation in the armed forces, enter the workforce, start an apprenticeship, begin a family, or pursue more education. Only you can choose. Only you know what's best for you in this moment. You have the chance to pick a life that can bring satisfaction and purpose to you, one that you can excel in, one that will bring joy to others, and one that will bring joy to you. I remember that this path is not set in stone. There will be challenges along the way, and in my experience, unforeseen roadblocks. No one is without flaws and mistakes, but to learn from these is what brings success. Do not be afraid of falling, as long as you persevere and vow to pick yourself back up. Before I conclude, I would like to share one last thought. Don't ever forget where you have come from. One day, now or in the future, you will walk out of this stadium, and you'll walk out of that building over there one final time and never return. I hope that you will always remember all the lessons you learned in those walls. The education you have gained is absolutely priceless and fundamental to the rest of your life. The history, arithmetic, geography, social studies, they are all essential. But please do not forget the intangible lessons you learned, the challenges you overcame, the friendships you nurtured, the connections you developed, the bad times, and the good. These will shape you for the rest of your lives, wherever your journey takes you. Follow a path that grants you the ultimate satisfaction, whatever that path may be. You have grown your unrelenting dedication and perseverance. Continue proving to the world what being from Pocomoke means. You have developed relationships that will help you make this world a better place than when you came into it. Show the world how much better it would be if we truly loved and respected each other. You have the power to do all of these things and so much more because you will always be Pocomoke warriors. Congratulations, Pocomoke High School class of 2022.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nugent. I have a gift to share with you. And a gift for your baby. There you go. Thank you so much. Let's give him another hand for his words of encouragement and inspiration.